Welcome to Future Money. A little bit late, but we're still here. Every week we get you ready for what's coming for the next 7 days. We don't want you to react to it, we want you positioning. So I'm your host, Armando Pantoja. We got a lot of things we're going to talk about this week. We're talking about Ethereum, XRP, some stocks that are doing well. But first thing we're going to talk about is the U.S. economy. A lot of people are worried that the U.S. economy could be on the brink of collapse, or maybe, let me adjust this mic, or maybe even on the bring it like the cusp of a recession. Moody's chief economist warned large parts of the U.S. economy are already slipping towards recession. That means that everyday shoppers, workers are starting to pull back on spending, pull back on investing because they're worried about what's coming next. Layoffs, a lot of things been happening with society and the economy. So a lot of people are getting scared. Higher prices at the checkout. We're spending more on rent. So a lot of people are starting to get worried that the money could tighten up, and that's why lowering the interest rate may be a good move by the Trump administration before this happens. This thing keeps like moving. I don't know what's going on with it. So yeah, maybe that's okay. So states make up the states that make up a third of the U.S. GDP are already near recession. A lot of the bigger states like Florida has starting to have massive foreclosures. If you don't know that the Florida housing market went up a lot during COVID, now it's starting to come down. People are getting foreclosed on because of high interest rates and high mortgage payments. Now, what I didn't understand what I didn't realize is that I live in a neighborhood, and let's say some of the houses range, from maybe like 800,000 to like 2 million, roughly in that range, which is not that much today, right? Average house is 500,000, 600,000. So in my neighborhood, I would see people move in, and the house is 1.4 million, and I'm thinking, how in the heck can people afford this? Like, you have to understand this is that I got my house at 2.5%, so it's people are paying 8%. If you pay 8% on $1 million house, let's say you put down 20%. Let's say you put down half. Let's say you put down roughly half. You got 600,000 left, 700,000 left. If you're counting all the fees and everything like that, 700,000 times 8% is what? It's almost $50,000, almost $50,000 a year just in interest. And the first year at least, or the first few years roughly. And then you also got to pay the principal. You also got to pay insurance. You also got to pay taxes. So that person's rent, even though they're only owe $600,000, could be $8,000 a month. Now, if two people making $100,000 a year, making $150,000 a year, that's still a strain. And I could see how the economy is starting to fall under that strain. Now, housing prices were going up, so people would just take out second, third, fourth mortgages, make up for the difference. But now that it's starting to come down, we're probably going to see a lot of foreclosures. Two things that could happen is that prepare yourself for the foreclosures in two ways. Prepare your own household, and two, make sure that you have cash available to buy up a lot of these deals if the recession draws the foreclosures, makes the foreclosures a lot worse than they are, and prices start to drop significantly. That's one of the biggest mistakes I made is when I was 20, in my late 20s, I moved to Florida, and I was living in a condo. And I was paying like $1,000 a month, I think. I think I paid $800 a month. That's what I paid. So I was paying this dude $800 a month to live in this condo. And one day, some papers came to my house, foreclosure. He's getting foreclosed on. This was like 2010 or 11. It was like 2010 or 11. And so I say, hey, man, because I knew the guy. And I was like, hey, man, I got some foreclosure paper here. He says, oh, okay. He says, you want to buy the place, man? Because I'm trying to get out of this foreclosure. I said, how much? He said, $54,000. In my mind, I said, I don't know how bad this thing could get. I don't know, man. I don't want to buy a sinking ship, so I didn't buy it. And I should have. I actually thought about it, talked to a realtor, stuff like that. But looking back now, that condo is worth $300,000. Now, of course, I've made up for it in other ways, but that was one of the biggest property mistakes I've ever made in my life, is the idea that it would never stop, that things would never recover. Mentally, people believe that when they see something going down or up in other cases, when something drops, they get scared and they believe in their heart that this will never be different. It's always going to be like this. And the media will back up that thought. Now, smart people realize that it always will recover. There will always be a brighter day. And they start buying and get aggressive during those times. There's even a saying that says, buy when there's blood in the streets. When everybody's panicking, when everybody's scared, that's when you buy up as much as you can, all assets, crypto stocks, even real estate. That's when the buying opportunities are. And that's where the real millionaires are waiting. It's a guy that works in the CNC, and he says this. He says, the real money is made when assets are down, not when they're up. Any idiot can make money when they're up. Now, the smart people make money when it's down. That's when the most growth happens, is when it's down. When the decisions that you make when things are down is when the biggest benefit from your decisions come. Job growth is also weak. Earlier gains that they've talked about early this year, now they're saying that it's a lot weaker than they thought. Tariffs, and we got tighter immigration policies, also raising costs, cutting company profits, and also shrinking our labor pool. A lot of people are just deciding not to work. That's also a big problem that's happening. So how will this affect everything that we're looking at? Well, there could be a recession fears, but I believe that the Trump administration will get in quickly, cut the interest rates, and kind of derail that, or either push it out a little bit farther. But eventually we will have to face this. Stocks, crypto, everything will eventually crash. It's not going to go forever. It never does. So you have to prepare for those times. You have to realize that some of these assets that have been up a lot, Nvda, Palantir, all these, they're the ones that will take the biggest hit when things pull down, because people start cutting off on things they perceive as more risky. Now, Nvda, Palantir, all these are seen as more risky because their P&E ratios are so high. They're really technically overvalued. So people start selling those rapidly. And then they start selling Walmart and all the other basic core stocks that people have. Now, with crypto, it's all seen as volatile. So it will take a bigger drawdown, but this is when you dose collar average in, buy them up cheaply, and prepare for the next run up. That's what the smart person does. Now, I'm going to cut this short today because I was trying to get one in for the week, but really I'm not feeling too well, but I thought I would come out and try as best I could to get through this. So Ethereum's bull run, institutional power meets tech upgrades. Ethereum is no longer just a blockchain behind DeFi, NFTs, and jokes. It's becoming a powerhouse with institutional, corporate, and technological momentum. ETF inflows have been greater going into Ethereum than Bitcoin. We're at a stage now where it's Ethereum's time to shine. I've always been no secret as I believe Ethereum will be the #1 crypto. Now, I believe strongly in XRP, but XRP's XRP's greatest potential was the move from 40 cents to where it's at now. That's 8-9 times. No other crypto has moved that much. A large crypto in the same size. I mean, same time frame. So that's really why I was a lot. I still like XRP a lot, and I still think it's going to go up a lot. I still think it can get to 1,000, but that's going to take a long time. It's not going to be tomorrow, like a lot of people say. It's going to be years and years. But why not wait 15, 20 years for that much of a growth? I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer. So, like I said, the ETF inflows are still strong. ETF inflows have attracted a lot of attention, billions from corporations, dwarfing Bitcoin's inflow. It's signaling institutional confidence in Ethereum. Oh. Now, a lot of upgrades are happening. That's the thing about it, is that one of the biggest concerns about Ethereum was the price or the fees that it costs to move Ethereum back and forth. But now with the technological upgrades and all these other things, they're making it cheaper. They're making it more energy conscious. So it's also deflationary mechanics that are built into the network. So we're actually talking next week with Vitalik's mom. She's coming on the show to talk about her role in the creation of Ethereum and her son and all these other things. So we got a big guest coming next week. So market pricing dynamics, analysts remain optimistic. Ethereum can still hit 8 to 12,000, like I said. Some prices even targeted as high as $25 by 2028. So let's move on. So let's see what we have on here. Got 700 people. Armando, my brother, Dogecoin has got 200 million. Dogecoin treasurer. Elon Musk lawyer, 75% odds of an ETF. Yeah, I think that I appreciate the super chat, Mikey, but I do believe that we'll have a Dogecoin ETF this year. Let's talk a little bit about the stock world. Let me see, bring that up. We do have the stock world mostly in green. Google actually had some good news, is that the Department of Justice was trying to separate Chrome from the rest of Alphabet or Google. So Google, Google has two different stocks now, but Google actually has went up a lot in the last couple of days as the government, kind of abandoned that case and let them keep Chrome. So that's good news. A lot of the stocks are up based on not only that news, but also other stuff in the tech world. So most of the stock market now is tech. So we do see a lot of the stocks up. Amazon's up 4%, Meta, 1.5. We got, and this is the technology stocks. Oh, this is the SP 500. So, yeah, so a lot of the stocks are looking good. This is technology, actually. I don't know why this came up like this. So, all right. Oh, there we go. I don't know why it came up. It was wrong last time. So this is the SP 500 for real. I don't know what that was before, but Nvda and Palantir are two of the stocks I think could still 10 times from here. I think Nvda could still get a $10 trillion market cap, which is crazy now, but with inflation, with the economy growing in the future, with Nvidia's, you got to remember, Nvidia is a company that, and people don't realize this when they talk about the future of these companies. Nvidia is not only growing, but it's absorbing entire industries. That's the reason why we can see a $10 trillion valuation by 2030. It seems crazy now because right now it's at $3 trillion. You're like, what? It can go up 3 times? Yeah, because Nvidia is absorbing others. It's one of my good friends back in Tennessee. 20 years he worked at a call center. He moved up from just being a call center person, whatever, I guess agent. He moved all the way up to operations manager. He was doing well, well into the 6 figures in Tennessee, which is extraordinarily good. One day he got a call, so he was fired, and also his whole team was fired. They were going to replace everybody with AI. Everybody just abruptly, like 10,000 people got fired a few weeks ago. And this is the guy's whole career path. So now he's like, what do I do now? So he is taking, that's a symptom of Nvidia or the other AI companies absorbing smaller companies. And that's the reason why we can see a $10 trillion valuation for Nvidia. So Nvidia stock has already delivered life-changing returns, ridiculous, 31,000% return in the last decade. So last thing, 2 things I want to talk about is, let me see, I think I got one more thing. I just want to talk about quantum computers because I do believe that, and there was something I wanted to post, but I'll do it later, about quantum computers. They were talking about it. It was actually IonQ. IonQ was on Jim Cramer's show, and he was talking about how one day blockchains like Bitcoin and other blockchains that use proof of work will be hacked or either broken down by quantum computers. And that's guaranteed that's going to happen. Now, he also talked about how IonQ could be also they have quantum encryption and other quantum proofs of work that they can use in the Bitcoin ecosystem to replace the classic computer proof of work that we have now. That's the future. That's why you have to be able to think past what's happening today and think about what's coming down the line. Those are the things that are going to make a lot of people a lot of money. There's 2 quantum computer plays right now. They're battling for supremacy, but they follow completely different paths. Remember, Rigetti, you have Rigetti and IonQ. You also have D-Wave. I don't want to forget about that, but I want to talk about these 2 right now. I would buy all 3, but IonQ out of the 3 is the only one that really has a true quantum computer. The rest are simulations. Google's Willow was a simulation of a quantum computer. It wasn't an actual quantum computer. It's a little bit, a simulation of a quantum computer still works kind of the same, but it's not a true quantum computer. Therefore, the states aren't, the computer is not as stable. It uses a lot more energy to do a simulation. And also, the results are not as pure as a true quantum computer. IonQ is the only company on Earth right now that has real quantum computers out in the marketplace. The rest of them are simulations. So Rigetti uses what's called a superconducting qubit. with a modular chipset design. They just launched a 38 6-qubit system with better error rates, and they're trying to go for 100. Now, IonQ relies on ion trapped qubits, which is the purest form of a quantum computer, known for accuracy and stability, already commercial ready, and they're going to start offering it in the cloud. And they have partial error correction, which makes their systems a lot purer and a lot more error free than Rigetti's. But they both are going to do well in the future. Ion just boosted its cash reserves to about $2 billion, giving it a strong backing for commercialization. Like I said, both of those are going to do well, I think. D-Wave, don't forget about that one. But I think they all are going to do extraordinarily well. Like I said, I got to cut this short. Don't feel well, but I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you on Strategy Sunday, and have a great rest of your day.